Alright guys, so this one, I'm going to keep this one brief, basically because the whole video is about me being an idiot. So I didn't really want to make this like a 10-minute video, you know? Gonna need a drink for this one. So, stuff tastes like water. Alright, so story time. Around November last year, I got a call of someone saying they wanted me to come out, quote their job. I went out to site, had a look at it, thought it would take this many days, this much material. Went home, typed it up, put it in a quote, sent it to them. They accepted the quote. That was like November of last year. Then about 3 months passed. I was so busy that I really didn't even think about it. We got into the job. I went and bought all the materials and it wasn't until about halfway through the job, I'm sort of looking at it thinking, oh shit, okay. I'm spending more money here than what I was sort of anticipating. And by that time it was too late. Like I couldn't pull out of the job then. Like I'd already, it was half done. Like all the framing had been paid for, all the decking had been paid for. I couldn't just not finish this job. So the moment that I actually realized it was already too late, this is probably like March of the following year. So a few months had passed, 3-4 months had passed. And in those 3 to 4 months was a crazy time for the construction industry. As I'm sure all you guys are aware, materials went through the roof. And yeah, my quote was November 2021 prices, and I was purchasing in March 2022. So everything went up about 20%. And that's like my whole profit margin is just fucking gone at that point, which really sucks, you know. But then I thought, maybe if I can just push the boys, we can knock this job out real quick, it'll be okay. But that did not happen. Bunch of things went wrong. Number one, the delivery driver dropped all the materials up the very top of this driveway. It was like hundreds of meters from the site. So then we had to unpack it all and carry it all down hundreds of stairs, down a hill like this, nightmare conditions. And then on top of that, it rained. Like within a 2-week period, Sydney got like record rainfalls, like more rain fell then than has ever fallen before. And I had like 4 or 5 guys on site. And some days we were standing around for like an hour a day, 2 hours a day. Times that by 4 or 5 guys. Like that is a lot of standing around, Labor's not cheap, and that adds up super, super quick. So my materials blew out, my labor blew out, due to unforeseen circumstances and also due to the rain. Things that were something that was, one of them was kind of in my control. The other one was completely out of my control. It was just one of those jobs. Like every now and then you get one of those jobs and it's just fucked, and this was it. And it just happened to be a pretty big job, so it stung. I think I lost like $4,000 to $5,000 on that job from memory. And that sucks, I put time into the quote. I did site visits. I paid for all the materials. I busted my ass for 2 to 3 weeks. And then at the end of all that, not only did we not make any money, but it actually cost me money to do the job. Like, I can't tell you how frustrating that is. But that one hurts. But these things happen in business. Like some jobs you make a lot, other jobs you don't make any, and sometimes you lose. And this is the one that we lost. But the moral of the story on this one is check your quotes. Like, don't let months pass like I did and just assume that everything's all good. Like your labor costs may have changed, what it costs to run your business might have changed, materials have probably gone up. If I had just taken like an hour to sit down before the job started and just looked at it, and then I probably would have gone, I can't do it for that anymore. And had I known that before we started, I could have called the client and said, listen, I cannot do this job for this much money anymore. This is the new price. there were no contracts signed or anything like that. So I could have said, look, this is the new price. Do you want to do it or not? And if they said, no, that's too expensive, then I could have just walked away, and I would have lost the job. I would prefer to lose the job than to lose $5,000, So yeah, don't do what I did. Check your quotes. Just before you start, sit down for half an hour, run some numbers, and just go, yep, that's still a price that we can do it for. Had I done that, I'd probably be $5,000 better off today. And yeah, it would have been like half an hour well spent. All right, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Thanks, guys. See you next time.